Hi guys, so am I interrupting something? What are you guys working on?
We are making pasta today, homemade pasta.
Ooh.
And we're actually using a recipe from the website Damn Delicious because she has the most amazing recipes, so give her a shout out. So this pasta only has 5-6 ingredients.
That's
so
pretty awesome.
We've got our flour, we've got our olive oil, our eggs, and salt and water, and that's it.
And I see you have some help today.
Yes, this is our oldest, Kate. Kate and I don't know what we're doing, so hopefully this will turn out. We're gonna give it a try. And the reason we're making pasta is because Kate got this awesome, what do you call this? A pasta maker. Pasta maker. It cuts the dough for you into the size of like a spaghetti or a linguine, or it actually does sheets for
ravioli.
Oh, ravioli. Yeah.
Is it like the Play-Doh factory?
Exactly, where you crank it.
Yeah, okay.
So instead we're going to do
Got it.
something edible. So that's why we're making pasta today, so we can try out our new kitchen.
Both doggos there, okay.
We're going to measure everything out, and we're actually using our computer. All right, so we're going to cut this recipe in half because it's a huge recipe. So we're going to use 3 cups of flour, and we're going to use all-purpose flour. Typically with pasta they use a semolina, but we're going to go ahead and use all-purpose because we don't have semolina. And it just, the semolina gives you a different texture, so all the pasta you buy in the supermarket has semolina flour. And then we're going to have 3 eggs, half a tablespoon of olive oil, and a pinch of salt and some water.
Half a pinch of salt.
Half a pinch of salt. Cutting it in half. So I'm putting half a tablespoon of olive oil in there. Salt and a little bit more. Okay, good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put this on. Use my dough hook. Secure that. Actually, we still have to add our water. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start stirring and then add a little bit more as we go. So the water's kind of, you add it as needed. Do you want to get in there? As you can see. So I'm going to turn it off for a second, and I'm going to scrape the bowl. Because you want to get all that flour in there.
How long is this going to mix for?
About 5 or 10 minutes.
And how much water did you put in there?
I'd say it was probably about half a cup actually.
Okay.
So we're gonna let this run for a little while, and if it ends up being too tacky or sticky, we'll put a little bit more flour in. So while our pasta sits and rests for an hour, our dough, we're gonna make our meatballs. And we've got I used extra lean ground beef, and sometimes you wanna have some fat in there, but we're gonna try the lean stuff just to be more healthy. So we need a pound of beef. We're gonna have our seasoning, but I'm also gonna I've got some fresh Parmesan cheese here that I'm shredding or grating, whatever. So we're gonna get half a cup of that. So I didn't say that these were healthy meatballs, I just said we're using lean ground beef. All right, so that's about half a cup right there. Okay. And we are gonna mix all this stuff together.
So what are you doing?
So we're making our meatballs now, and the recipe calls for a whole onion and 4 cloves of garlic. And you saute this in olive oil, and then once we're done with that, we're going to add it to our gravy. All right, so we sauteed our onions and our garlic, and now we're going to bring this over here so we don't burn you, and add it to our meat. We're going to make our meatballs now. All right. We're going to add half a cup of fresh shredded Parmesan. We are going to add 1 egg. Crack it in there. milk. We're going to do half a cup of plain breadcrumbs. So this is 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. We're going to do half a teaspoon of cracked black pepper. We're going to do fresh pepper. Okay. Half a teaspoon of salt. So I can get you white. Okay. Roughly. And this kind of makes a little
That's
sweet.
a little dry basil.
Little dry basil, yeah, gives it a little sweet.
A little bit of kick.
Not a kick. It's kind of like Italian seasoning, but it's more of a sweet. A sweet seasoning. Okay, so everything's mixed together. Now we're going to make little balls. It's a little bit more than a tablespoon, probably. For each one, maybe about 2 tablespoons. So we're going to set it on this parchment paper.
Looks like the meatballs are done.
Meatballs are all formed, so they're going in the oven at 400 degrees.
And how long do they have to stay in there for?
Looks like about 12 minutes. So I'm going to put them in for 12 and then we're going to check them and make sure they're done. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make our sauce. So we've already chopped up our onions and garlic, and we're going to saute this in some olive oil. But before we do that, we're going to chop up our parsley. So we're going to saute the onion and garlic first. We've got some olive oil in there, a couple tablespoons. You can see our meatballs are done.
Wow.
They're just going to sit there and cool for a little while until our sauce is ready. So we're going to go ahead and cook these down just a little bit. So it'll take about 5 minutes. Okay, so we already sauteed our onions and our garlic. So we're going to add some crushed red pepper flakes, not too much because we're not going to make it too spicy. Yes. We need 2 cans, 2 28-ounce cans of crushed tomato. Parsley in 2, just so that we don't give that back to you. All right, here's the second can of crushed tomato. Now we need 4 tablespoons of tomato paste. That's almost. And here we have our Italian seasoning, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of sugar. Okay, now we're gonna.
So how long do you have to heat this for?
You know, you want to kind of cook it slowly, so I'm gonna say probably 20 to 30 minutes. You could do it faster if you need it quicker, but I kind of like to let it sit here and simmer just to let the flavors kind of meld together. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this cook a little bit. It's not that there's anything raw in here, we just want the flavors to kind of come together. You know, the onions and the garlic are already softened up, the tomatoes obviously already cooked. So we're gonna let that kind of simmer a little bit, and then we're gonna take our meatballs and we're gonna add those in and kind of let them sit in there for a while and simmer as well for maybe an additional 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover this and just let it stay on there on that burner, just on a lower setting of heat. And we're just gonna let it sit there for a while. So we need to attach this to our KitchenAid mixer now. So you have your attachment.
Well, what is that?
This is going to be our, very good question. This is going to be our pasta maker.
Wow.
So you've got your fettuccine blades here. These are your flat blades, and this is what we're going to be using the most to start because you have to keep flattening it. And I believe this is the spaghetti part. So in order to put this on,
I think our pasta taster just came.
awesome.
Too.
We
Yeah.
have to take that front piece off.
Okay.
You put this in here like this, and you attach it and tighten your screw back here. So for those of you who don't know, KitchenAid makes a bunch of attachments. And it's just a matter of taking off this front piece and putting it on.
Is it like dangerous? What happens if your fingers get in there?
There
It
are
says-
warning signs.
Okay, all right.
It says pinch point.
point.
Watch your hands.
I'm just bringing it up because I've
Yes.
been known to have a couple accidents here.
There you
and there.
go. So this dial controls the thickness. So our directions say to start at number 1, which we set it
Okay.
at. So
Well, before we get, here's our pasta
Tester.
pasta not
Yeah.
pasta
Pasta
taster.
taster.
He's our imposter.
Yeah, the imposter. And
So
All right.
Kate is the guinea pig. Don't put your fingers in there.
I'll put my fingers.
Okay, so working one piece at a time. Speed 2.
Yep. Seems so fast.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So then once it goes through, you're gonna flour
Fold
it
it.
again. Fold it and flour it.
Wow. Oh.
Or flour it, then fold it.
Can I have a little scoop to grab flour out of here?
Yeah.
Oh, the spoon. Sorry. Delay.
So flour it, fold it. Fold it in half and then roll it again until the dough is smooth. Then once it's smooth, you'll change it to setting 2.
Okay. Idea what's
Yeah,
happening.
you're
You're gonna be able to
Uh-oh.
watch it all.
Okay.
Oh, he's catching a fight.
Yep. So we're going to a thinner setting now?
No, we're going to a thicker setting.
Oh, a thicker setting.
Setting 2 twice.
Oh, yikes.
That's why. So, uh-oh, looks like we got some technical issues here.
There's just like little green spots in here.
Right.
We can do
So
it.
this is setting 4, last one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do we need a third hand in there?
Yeah, if you can like help like pull it.
So now we're making, is it fettuccine?
Oh my gosh!
Look at that.
Awesome.
Wow.
Great. Oh, of course it looks like that when you're filming. I'm just gonna pop them in.
Yeah.
Cool.
Stressful.
Is everyone liking their pasta?
Yeah. Peter, what do you think?
Peter?
Fantastic.
That's a spicy meatball.